In the news this week, plans to turn housing officers into state snoopers are revealed. Parents in Wales face a ban on smacking their children. And a man who ran London's biggest brothel has told how his life was turned around by Jesus Christ. Hello and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. GPs, housing officials and voluntary groups should be recruited as snoopers for the Scottish Government's increasingly controversial named person scheme. That's according to minutes from a board that oversaw the scheme's introduction, which have just been uncovered. The minutes show that housing officers and voluntary organisations will be expected to report aspects of a child's well-being to named persons. The document also suggests that the bond of trust between doctors and patients could be damaged. Children's Minister Aileen Campbell is shown to press for the involvement of GPs in data sharing, despite concerns that doctor-patient confidentiality could be breached. The named person scheme was also subject to ridicule this week, after it emerged that a bizarre gardening analogy was used to teach children about it. Scotland's Children's Parliament met with more than 100 kids around the country as the plans were being drawn up. To help pupils understand the scheme, it encouraged them to imagine that Scotland was a garden and that every child was a special plant growing within it. Children were told that all the adults in their lives are gardeners and that the named person is the head gardener. Head of Communications at the Christian Institute, Kieran Kelly, said the analogy raised serious questions over what the Scottish Government considers the role of parents to be.
This analogy is simply bizarre, but it does shed light on what the Scottish Government considers the role of parents to actually be. If the named person is considered to be a head gardener above the common gardener of a child's own parents, then surely that must mean that they supersede parental authority. So it's very clear from this illustration who the government thinks is actually in charge. But God has ordained that parents are the best carers and also the primary carers for their own children, and the state should never seek to undermine their role and should not be allowed to do so.
Loving parents would be banned from giving their own children an occasional smack under manifesto pledges from two Welsh parties. Currently, parents in England and Wales are allowed to reasonably chastise their children. Now, in the run-up to elections on the 5th of May, Plaid Cymru says it wants to introduce legislation to remove the defence of reasonable chastisement. And Welsh Labour says it will seek cross-party support for legislation to end the reasonable chastisement smacking defence. Previously, Welsh Liberal Democrat leader Kirsty Williams has also spoken in favour of banning smacking, while the Welsh Conservatives and UKIP have opposed such a ban. In March last year, the Welsh Assembly rejected an attempt to remove the parental freedom to smack by 36 votes to 16. Smacking is one of a number of election issues of importance to Christians. Ahead of the polls on the 5th of May, the Christian Institute has produced helpful resources to inform your vote. As a registered charity, we cannot tell you who to vote for. However, we have created question cards to help you unlock your candidate's views. These and other resources are available on our website, christian.org.uk. Look out for them on social media and do pray for governments to be elected in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland that will rule justly. And finally, a man who ran London's biggest brothel and was planning a murder has shared how his life was turned around by Jesus Christ. After a difficult childhood, John Lawson became a bouncer, moved to London and later got involved in kidnapping and extortion. He was caught by police and sent to prison, where he went along to a Bible study just to get free food. However, he was moved by seeing other prisoners so happy, and the next day he read a Bible verse that set him on a journey towards a changed life. He read, "If a wicked man turns away from all the sins he has committed and keeps all my decrees and does what is just and right, he will surely live, he will not die." Ezekiel 18:21. Following his release from jail, Lawson became involved with an outreach and training ministry. He told the Christian Institute about his experience.
Hi, my name is John Lawson. I'm a former violent criminal to my shame, but today I've been redeemed through the blood of Christ. I am now the founder of Escape Ministries. We travel all over the world and visit many prisons. I will keep doing this to the day I die because I'm so grateful for what Christ did for me. I want to share that with others. And I do get asked the question, am I trying to make up for my past mistakes? I'm not. Everything was done for me on that cross.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.